What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Carter Krummen of Concordia St. Paul. I'd say the vast majority of you don't know I actually coached there back in the day for a year, first year professional, 2017, 2016, 2017. Yeah, so I wouldn't really, I guess I'm not an alumni, but, coaching alumni of Concordia St. Paul. So stoked to see Carter reaching out for some help. Always happy to help out the smaller schools and give back to, like I said, my former coaching home. I suppose my only NCAA coaching job I've had properly. Yeah, enough rambling. Carter, yeah. Before we get into that, if you guys are interested in any sort of online coaching to step your game up this indoor season, we're about halfway through indoors. Championship season's coming up. It's kind of a little late to hop on the coaching train, but if you do need some help, you need a one-off technical analysis, go to my website, gripandrip.co. Go order yourself an in-depth technical analysis video. If you want more help going into outdoors, I urge you to go sign up for a coaching package. The throws coaching package seems to be probably the best value right now, I think, for most people. If you really are interested in that, you get all the day-to-day technical advice from your boy. You get a program specifically tailored to you and what you need to work on in your throw, and it's a fucking killer deal if you ask me. So go check it out, gripandrip.co. All right, if you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram at SDThrows. Enough rambling. We're 2 minutes into the video, and we haven't even looked at this story yet. So Carter, you sent me over 5 throws from, let's say, over the past month or so, or 2 months now. And I picked this one because it's a wide view. I don't get to do a lot of those, so that's nice to see a little bit more space. You get to see the orbit better. But then also just like looking at this throw, it's a pretty solid throw. Looking at all of your throws, everything seems to be getting better over time. So I think you sent me a video from a competition back in December. And just looking at this throw, you've made plenty of great changes. And then even looking at your videos from earlier in January, you still, like I said, have continued to make good changes. And this throw is pretty solid. I think once you get in competition, you get to see what somebody's technique really looks like, how it holds up, and all that stuff. So a competition throw is usually always going to be a little bit more beneficial to review compared to a training throw. Because training throw, you can make things look pretty, you can relax, you take a lot of throws, you get it grouped in. But in competition, when you only have 5 to 10 throws to get it grouped in, depending on if you make finals or not, it's just a little bit better to review. So, but yeah, yet again, another minute of rambling, and let's get into it. So, Carter, finally, like I said, good progress over the months that of the videos you sent me. So let's break this down and keep that going. You're starting square at the back of the circle. You can see 0 is probably just in between your feet. You can see this white line is 180 in the throw. So you're starting square. And then one thing that I really appreciate that you've changed, like I said, from especially in that video back in December, is your wind and your entry. As you can see, you're opening up your shoulders way more to this right side of the cage. Also, this is good old Mankato. Spent a lot of time there when I was coaching at CSB. But you're opening up your shoulders way more to the right side, towards 270, towards this side of the circle. And that, I think, makes things look way better because, like I said, in December, you weren't doing that as well. You were pretty much facing 0. And with that, it just looked a little short and tight, where this looks a little bit more long and relaxed and kind of flowy. So ball's a little low here. Not a big deal. It really depends what you do with it. As you go to wind, you can see you're shifting over that right side pretty well. The hips flowing with the ball, countering it in a way. Pretty good wind. Tight, not tight in the tight sense, but it's efficient. As you can see, your hands aren't super far overhead. You're opening up really well. Like I said, shoulders really opening up wide to that right side, opening up well, connecting early, and then you can see as the ball comes through 180, you go to set up that left side, and then you're slinging the ball from 180. Shwoom. Nice sling there. It does get like I said, it's a little low As you can see, the ball's kind of like down around like your knees. Um, I would say maybe try to feel some tension back behind you. Like I said, this looks pretty good. If this were a hammer, there'd maybe be a little slight downward angle on what the wire would be. But it looks like there's pretty good tension behind you. But if you try to flatten out this ball as it goes around behind you, it'll be easier to keep it up and out um, as you actually go through entry. So, um, yeah, as you can see, you are a little high here, and then you kind of sink down, but it's kind of before the ball drops, so that's not bad. But as you go through entry, I think you just got to feel a little bit more right side, because you can see this. There's a lot of left side tension here. You can see it coming through that left shoulder back into the ball. And like I said, you're trying to set up that left side well, but it's almost like that left side's always just a little bit ahead of you. So you're getting good tension through that left arm, but that right arm isn't quite getting enough, or that right side isn't getting enough tension on the ball yet. And I'm not sure if you know what kind of you're cueing right now, but trying to get a little bit more push, a little bit more sling wider right here. Try to get that right arm a little bit more extended a little earlier, because as you can see, as you go through entry, you almost set up that left side pretty well. Like in terms of this position right here, that left side's relatively stable, shoulder, hip, knee, foot, all that stuff. The left side's pretty stable, but you can see the ball drops a little bit. That right elbow's a little bit down, and that left side's kind of coming across the body. Then you can see the head and the shoulder kind of peeking open, and then it does shift back a little bit before the ball gets to zero. So you can see that left side kind of pulling back, shifting back. You can see you're kind of shortening the orbit a little bit. So if you could chill out the body a little bit, so like once you set it up here, once you set it up, once the ball comes through 270, you want to chill out the body a little bit, let the ball get ahead of you. You kind of want to think about maybe, at least with the upper body, staying square with the ball a little bit more. So set it up here, chill the body out, and let the ball get ahead. So if we just look at the ball over these next few frames, you want to chill out until the ball gets to about there, whereas you can see your left side's going a little bit early, coming across the body, leading it a little bit. So, but not bad. Like I said, this is better than what I saw in previous videos. Even your training throw was pretty similar to this, because that was after this throw um, in terms of timeline. But yeah, just got to chill out the body a little bit. Like I said, left side's leading a little bit. You can see you're kind of shifting back over this right side, so that left side needs to be a little bit more stable. You are heel turning, which makes it a little bit harder to do so, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to do it. You just got to really focus on stabilizing this left side by using this right leg. Like I said, getting a little more tension through the right side in general. So right leg, right hip, and right arm. Chilling the body out, letting the ball get left, and stabilizing that left as the ball goes through zero. Otherwise, you can see there's a little lift here. You see that left side's kind of straightening out, kind of pushing the hip back. And you see you don't really quite finish the turn when it comes to your left heel, your left foot. Heel's turning, and then you see right here, you start to see that left toe go down. So if you could dorsiflex that left foot a little bit more, keep that toe up a little bit longer, and get that toe down kind of a little bit more in the direction of the sector. This is kind of splitting hairs. But it's just a little thing I noticed that, like I said, this left foot kind of comes down a little early, which means basically, like I said, you have your left side axis kind of set up here, and then you would say this left heel is kind of your point of rotation in this arbitrary 2D plane. And then as the ball goes around the left, as soon as you put that left toe down, that kind of becomes your axis of rotation for the throw. So you're essentially putting that left toe down early, which puts your center of mass a little bit further back than it needs to be, which is going to make things a little bit harder as the throw goes on. But pretty solid entry. Like I said, it looks like good connection through the arms once you get that right arm straightened out, but that doesn't really happen until about there or so. So if you get that right arm straightened out a little bit earlier, and then, like I said, keep that toe up, try to get that toe down more in the direction of the sector. So work on that ankle mobility and stability. Then as you go through single support, you can see that right side, that right leg. Like I said, with your kind of left hip pushing back, it's kind of get that hard to get that right side involved. As you can see, it's just a little bit behind. So you get a little bit of the butt kick style single support movement with the right leg instead of leading more with the knee up, kind of like an A skip sort of position. And there's also just a little bit of rise in the body here. You're kind of popping up a little bit. So then as you go to catch, you don't drop with the ball, which is good. But like I said, this little bit of rise towards the end of, and you can see it in the hands and the arms specifically. That little bit of rise kind of hurts things a little bit, but it's not a huge deal because, like I said, you don't end up dropping with the ball. So what usually happens is most people, when the ball goes up, they rise up with it, and the ball comes down, they drop down with it. And you're only doing half of that equation right now. So if you could even just stay one level through entry, be a little bit more stable in terms of your hip height, and not lift the ball up, that'd make things a little bit more efficient. But you catch in this turn, and then you can see you're a little bit heavy on the right. Hips are a little bit back and down away from the ball. But then you look strong enough to, as you can see, that left heel grounds pretty solid. And then this left side's pretty stable, but you can still see you're leading. You can see this tension up in this left shoulder, left arm coming across. And then you see this right leg. You're turning pretty well, but you can still see there's a little break in the foot here. Knee, foot, ankle, it's just a little bit behind, which means that left side's taken over. Those things are connected. And you see, you still kind of, like I said, that head, that left shoulder is leading the ball through zero, kind of shifting back before the ball gets through zero. But it looks like you're strong enough, and like I said, you have a long enough, kind of stretchy enough left arm to kind of keep things going, and you're strong enough to keep it going, but you're just leading a little bit, so then your hips really can't quite get into it. If your hips can get into the throw, it's going to feel a lot stronger, it's going to feel a lot easier, a lot more effortless, a lot more stable. With this left shoulder leading, it leads to some instability, and it feels like you're working really hard, but you're actually kind of being inefficient, if that makes sense. But then through double sport, you can still see that head and left side leading. Ball, if we put it there, go back to the previous turn, I'm pretty sure it still gets longer left. Yeah, about the same. Tiny bit more left. So you can get even better here. I think if that entry got better, this second turn would get better. And you can see right side getting up into it a little bit more, still getting a little butt kick with that right knee or right leg. So you can be a little bit more, like I said, A-skip position. And then as we go through this single support, you can see same sort of thing here. You're not really quite finishing that term in terms of the left foot because that left foot is leading, that left side is leading. So you put that toe down a little early, so got to keep that foot dorsiflexed a little bit. So work on some, like I said, ankle mobility, as I said in the previous turn. But you catch, and now same sort of thing, a little heavy on the right. Hips are a little bit back still, and you can see your direction through the throw is kind of going down this right sector line. So you got to finish the turn. You got to get around to 180 every single time, more or less. It's somewhere in between this, the 180 line and the right sector line, and to me it looks like you're just going down this right sector line a little bit too much. So you got to feel a little more stretch out towards the sector. But you catch, the hips are a little bit back. Pretty stable, as you can see. Your hips are working up as the ball is dropping, which is good. Then you still kind of see the same thing. Left side leading a little bit, pulling up, pulling back. And then if we go back to the previous turn, yeah, you're still getting the ball left, which is good. It's just kind of what's going on with the body in between then. And then you can just see, like I said, that left side shifting back before zero. So you're kind of lacking some stability, lacking some patience. Those two things go hand in hand. You can see here, same sort of thing. That right knee's turning with it, that right femur's turning with it, but then there's kind of this breakdown in the right foot, right ankle, where it doesn't keep turning with it. And then this is getting closer here. Your left toe's a little bit better, but kind of same thing, coming down a little early. And you start to see your hip get up into it a little bit here, but by this point you're already pulling back on it, so it's kind of shortening a little bit. And you see that right leg get wide, kind of coming around. You're getting pulled around the left instead of finishing the turn and turning down 180. You're getting pulled around the left, getting sent down this right sector line. So that right leg kind of cowboys a little bit, and then you start to, at this point your body's like, all right, we just got to find some stability. We got to hang on and land and catch and find some stability any way we can. So then you're going to see this right leg get wide here. You go kind of over rotate, catch wide, catch a little late. And you can see by the time, like, your foot comes down here, right? But then you don't actually stabilize on the ground until about there. So that right side stability is kind of lacking. And then since you do have this nice long left arm, you're able to kind of fight out of it. You can see you catch, there's not much tension in the body, so then the left side's going to pull to stabilize and finish the throw. Shortens the orbit around the left. So we go back to the previous turn. Yeah, you can see you shortened probably about a whole ball length in this finish to try to compensate and still throw into the sector, even though you were working down this right sector line in terms of the throw itself. You really see that left side instability here, which in the finish It's not as big of an issue because it is just kind of like, all right, finish the ball, see what happens. But you can really see this left side pulling, shifting, shortening around the left to try to get the ball out into the sector. But pretty sturdy looking finish. Like I said, you look like you're strong enough. You know, you're a big dude. I looked up your bio, 6'2", 260. You got the strength, you got the size, just got to find the technique, find the feeling. So, yeah. But if we kind of go back to the start of the throw, run through it really quick. Like I said, just got to chill out this left side a little bit, feel more right side tension, let the ball get a little bit more ahead. Stabilize this left side just a little bit longer because it's good until about here. And then it starts to shift back and open up and maybe try to control the head, control that left side. It's a really common thing in the weight to always feel that left side leading because if you don't have that left side leading, it kind of just tension just disappears. So it's a very, very fine line. And like I said, you can maybe work on that left ankle, left toe, mobility. Like I said, finish the turn. Getting pulled around the left a little bit every single turn. Wow, I don't know what just happened, but my throat died. All right, we're back. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but yeah, just getting pulled around the left a little bit every single turn. Got to get more direction to 180. And like I said, it looks like you got some pretty good parts and pieces, and you've made good progress over the past month. So if you clean some of these things up, dude, 16 meters for sure. 1650 is definitely a realistic possibility. And then when you really line it up and smack one, 17 meters is there. So yeah, I think you're young too. You're only sophomore, right? So you got plenty of time to figure all this out. You got a few more years. So stick with it. And yeah, man, let me know if you have any questions. I am happy to help, especially, good old Golden Bear. I also just love the D2, D3 peeps, especially everybody up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Midwest in general. So always happy to help out. If anybody else out there has made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, and go check out my website, gripandrip.co, and sign up for some online coaching so we can get to work and have you set PRs and school records and winning championships and all that fun stuff. So thank you for watching. Until next time, Sean Don signing off.